Hello, Internet. Welcome to Only Kind of Everything. And as our tribal chief once said, yesterday we mourn, today is day one. What am I referencing? Well, if you missed Monday Night Raw, our women's world champion, Rhea Ripley, was injured. She had to drop the women's world heavyweight championship. Now, I think that sucks. Not only because next week Monday Night Raw will be emanating from Columbus, Ohio, where I intend to be, but because WrestleMania was really Becky versus Rhea Ripley, was Rhea's first, and I've said this before, it was her first real title defense. The first time that she went into a match and you were like, man, is Rhea really gonna come out on top of this thing? I'm glad she did, but the problem is that what I would have assumed to be another very strong year for Rhea Ripley, it's going to be cut short because she's going to be taking, quote, numerous months off for recovery. Now, that leaves the women's world title up in the air. So, who is going to step up and take that world title? Got a couple ideas who I think it could be and potentially should be. First, one that comes to my mind is Nia Jax. Not that I'm a big fan of Nia, but I think it should be noted that her return really has been better than a lot of people expected. So, yeah, Nia's a solid choice, but I would call her a low-end choice for me. Another good choice if you really want to strap the rocket to somebody, you've got Roxanne Perez, just come straight up from NXT, win a world title. There you go. Tiffany Stratton, move her over to Raw, let her win that world title. Man, another good one, depending on how they were originally going to book Rhea Ripley, man, give it to Liv Morgan. It's come out that it wasn't necessarily Liv herself that caused the injury. If you remember last week on Raw when the chair got thrown into Rhea, it wasn't the chair that actually injured her. It was her, Rhea, not Liv. It was Rhea falling into the wall. So, 20-minute match with one of the greatest women's wrestlers in the world currently in Becky Lynch, no problem. Stumbling into a wall? Yeah, you're out for the next couple months. So, from a storyline perspective, man, you could give it to Liv Morgan, and I don't think that would hurt anybody. Give Morgan a little bit of a run, and honestly speaking, depending on how you want to book Liv Morgan, she'd be a good heel in that position, and depending on how long you want the run with that title to go, she'd be a great opponent for Rhea Ripley to come back against, because Rhea can absolutely come back, beat Liv Morgan, and regain the world title that she never lost. Now, one thing I do want to say, I do think it's interesting, to be the best word I can use and not be facetious, if you will. Roman would take months off of, not even just not show up and hold his world title, although I get that, kind of. Leading into WrestleMania, Seth Rollins was injured, and they kept him on TV, but he didn't drop his world title. So, kind of curious to how severe Rhea Ripley's injury actually is, that they couldn't just keep her on TV like they did Rollins and Roman. But I digress. Rhea Ripley is no longer the women's champion, and I believe they are going to be announcing the winner, or the new world champion, next week on Raw. Now, I don't want to spend a lot of time on the bad. Let's go straight into some other interesting things that have been coming out recently. Matt Hardy being a free agent. Some speculation going around that Mr. Hardy has opted to not re-sign, and theoretically he's trying to get his brother Jeff free as well, you would think, so that the two of them can go potentially to WWE or Impact. Now, my thoughts with that, if the Hardy Boys do return to WWE, both tag team divisions could definitely use the Hardy Boys. The problem is, as a nostalgia act, people want the Hardy Boys to be at the top. And they're not going to be at the top. They will be circling around it, I'm sure. But I feel like the Hardy Boys will be in a position like the New Day, where they can potentially challenge for world titles, but not necessarily win them. And I think that's going to be the lot of the Hardy Boys, unless you take them and send them to NXT, where they can be kind of the veteran tag team of NXT. You know, WWE is definitely looking to make NXT a third brand. And if that's the case, the Hardy Boys would be a great team for NXT, given the caveat that people have to understand that you're not going to get the Hardy Boys that you remember from the Attitude Era. You know, I think we will be lucky to get a Hardy Boys reminiscent of what we got from their return at WrestleMania a couple years ago. They're just older now. So that's something to keep in mind. If they come back to WWE, the nostalgia will be thin. They are not going to be able to perform at the super high level that we want and remember. So, man, I don't know if that is a good place for them. Another option is obviously Impact, but Impact's going through a lot of structure changes now that Scott D'Amore is gone. Guys who, like Rhino, he owns his own wrestling promotion, and there's rumors going around that he can't even work his own promotion because of the way TNA has done their contracts now. So, I'm not saying that would be a thing for the Hardy Boys, you know, wanting to wrestle other promotions. I'm assuming if they go to Impact, they would just be happily working Impact, but never know. Now, since we're on the subject of contracts and not being able to wrestle, you've probably heard, as I'm not the quickest form of pro wrestling media out there, that one Eric Rowen has recently had to cancel upcoming indie dates due to new contractual obligations. A lot of those in the know are aware that, generally speaking, when new contractual obligations come about, that's due to WWE. And we're going to go this way so we don't have to listen to them dogs. Now, if that's the case, I would likely see Eric Rowen coming back, teaming up with Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, the late Bray Wyatt's brother. And I could actually see this being a good place to slot a returning Braun Strowman and have a new form of the Wyatt family. Now, I know a lot of people are also quick to say, well, what about Alexa Bliss? What about Alexa Bliss? I know she's getting back into ring shape, but new motherhood can take time. And I'm not going to speculate on when Alexa Bliss returns, because I don't know. I don't see her every day. I don't know what shape she's in terms of mentally and physically trying to get back into a ring. Now, I think Alexa Bliss coming back and joining a variant of the Wyatt family would be awesome. You know, it would be a great way to continue Bray's legacy. They're definitely doing that with these teases on Raw and X, with these glitches and the hello. They're really doing a good job at saying, hey, this is the next coming of what Wyndham wanted. And I can't wait to see how this unfolds. You know, Wyndham had a mind about him that the professional wrestling world will sorely miss. So it's good to see his brother wanting to carry that legacy out. The Uncle Howdy character returning. So let's look forward to that. I'm going to guess a new form of the Wyatt family. I don't want to say debuts, but debuts is probably the best terminology. Led by Uncle Howdy. And then this group, I don't know if I see them, you know, roughshotting their way to a world title, but it would be interesting to see a world title around Uncle Howdy. But man, that presents the same problem I had with The Fiend winning a world title. I don't feel like characters like that necessarily need a world title. You know, you can maybe do the tag titles for Rowen and Strowman, but I don't know if you put a singles world title on anybody in that group if you're going the Mystic Spooky route. But guys, that is all I have for today. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think is going to happen with Rhea Ripley and the potential return of the Wyatt family. Look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Bye.